everybody, welcome back. It's Rugby TV. It is, of course, for those of you that are watching us, and if you did celebrate Christmas and I think Boxing Day, then of course we wish you the very best for the season. We trust that you had a good time with your family and friends. But of course, Rugby TV time, we carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Big thanks to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. So we're going to tell you about how you can go to our Facebook page and win a case of Score a little bit later during the course of the show. We've got a Spot the Ball competition, very tricky. Of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Folks, so we, of course, in this year are wrapping up with our captains and coaches in what we call sort of the captain's table. On the show with us tonight, Dylan Freiling, False Bay. Dylan, welcome. Not first time on the show, first time in the studio.
Yeah, first time in the studio. Last time was COVID with the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, that was actually fantastic chatting to you guys. I mean, the ability to just maintain contact and just find out. But we'll talk about that during the course of the show. Nadine Stockman. Stockdale. I don't know where that comes from. Brackenfell, Western Province. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, well, this is your first time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And Bradley Dirksen. Looking fantastic in the Rangers green there, meneer.
Thank you, Zaype. Thanks for having me.
Yes, the for you, Pisho?
Yes, I did a few interviews with you guys during the course of the year, but it's the first time in studio.
No, well, that's fantastic. One of the reasons we've got you guys here as well, we had to go straight to the top of the pile. Sorry, guys, I've got to do this, but the top of the pile is currently False Bay. Dylan, we've got to see the trophy. You've got to bring it out for us. Folks, if you are just joining us now, False Bay, of course, are winners of Super League A, and there we see the trophy. Dylan's got a fantastic shot there. Well, you can't see the whole trophy, but yeah, Dylan, how heavy is that?
No, it is pretty heavy. I mean, when you're driving it to the car, you've got to put the seatbelt around it. Otherwise, it just goes absolutely everywhere.
Has it done the rounds?
Sure, you're gonna have to probably get Tabo involved and ask him, because he kept it by himself for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
But it's been locked away safely in the Louis Duval at False Bay.
Right, of course, yeah, you can't. I mean, this trophy is what, more than 100 years old?
Yeah, I think the last time was 1886 that I've seen on the trophy, or 1883. So yeah. It's been a very long time.
Well, we're gonna talk more about this trophy and the False Bay's exploits in a second. But Nadine, you guys also, Brackenfell, what a fantastic season!
Oh, it was absolutely phenomenal. Starting out as a new club, new players, bringing them up to level, awesome time.
How did that start for you guys? I mean, it's not a completely new club, or you've played before.
Brackenfell used to exist in earlier years. Started up a new team this year. I actually only joined later, so while the girls were already in training, so didn't have a pre-season, nor off-season. Yeah. We just went for it.
How big is the squad now? I've got to mention Danelle Rousseau, who's done just week after week, month after month, year after year. In fact, she's really carried the thing, and then she's been on the show with us so many times. We're so proud of Danelle.
Absolutely, doing a good job. Inspires people.
Yeah.
Doing good with the goals. Yeah, no, having a nice time out there.
Well, we're definitely going to be chatting more about that, and of course, Bradley. We've got to see your trophy as well. This is is this the league trophy?
The knockouts trophy.
This is the knockout. So you guys got 2 trophies.
Yeah, we've got 2 trophies. So it's the league trophy and then the knockout trophy.
Alright, let's see this.
So
there we go.
So the knockouts is the tournament after the league. This is the one we got after we've beaten Lower Paul, and then the league one is safely stored at home.
So this is another trophy also that, I mean, these trophies, they do their rounds every year at Western Province. Although the trophies that you guys have got now also didn't do the rounds since 2019 because of, obviously because of COVID. But Dylan, that would be an interesting one because there would be 2 years missing there.
Yeah, at the bottom here, there are 2 years missing. It says 2019. Oh, I gotta find it.
Yeah, 2019 was Durban.
Yeah, 2019 was Durban, and then it goes straight to 2022.
Straight. And have they put the name on it yet?
Yeah, they put the name on it.
It's been engraved.
It has been engraved.
Yeah, right. And Bradley, the trophy that you guys have got for the league, for winning the league, also. Have they put the name on it already?
Yes, they've put on the name just after the Western Province function. So they engraved it just after that, and we got to see our name engraved on the trophy at our year-end function, which was quite nice to see.
Nadine, you're looking at me like as if you're thinking, why did I not bring the trophy? Do you feel a little bit like, well, you've also got one.
Yeah, we've got one, but it's a little bit smaller.
It's a bit smaller. Obviously, is it Western Province also use? I mean, they've got so many trophies. I've seen that what they call sort of that layout of trophies every year. I mean, there's just almost 100 trophies that have to be brought in, has to be polished and handed over. For the women's rugby, is it a previous trophy or is it a new trophy?
No, it's not a new trophy. It comes on over the years.
Yeah.
I've been playing for Goodwood Rugby Club many years ago, and we were club champions for about 10 years. So name
also there
engraved on there, yes.
When you guys look at those trophies, do you look at it? I mean, do people spend a bit of time and look at it? Like when you get the trophy, you have no choice but to think back of the history and
a lot of old memories. We form a bondage with rugby, and we try to make a family of everyone that's at the club. So you remember some good times, some bad times too. Families do fight, so, but all good times at the end of the day. Looking back at that cup.
Dylan, in your case, I mean, you've played for a couple of teams, including Western Province, and you must be looking at that trophy and some of the team names there and thought, okay, well, some of those teams all have players that you played against before.
No, definitely it was. Well, my first time winning the trophy was in 2016. Was with False Bay, so it's actually a very, very it's a very, very special one. It was the first trophy that I've actually won, and with the team and everything as well. So it was actually a really, really special. Looking at all the names and teams on it it's very different back in the day, but yeah, definitely very special.
Right, folks, in the studio with me, Dylan Freiling from False Bay, of course, False Bay vice captain, Nadine Stockdale. I don't know where I came with the Stockman thing, but Stockdale is in the studio with us, of course, captain of Brackenfell women's rugby side and playing with Western Province Rugby. And of course, Bradley Dirkse from Paarl Rangers. And we are going to be talking to them more about the season and some of the big games. We're also going to show you a couple of highlights. All that and more coming up after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. Of course, this is our final show for the year. That means it's been 52 episodes of Cape Rugby this year, where we've been talking about what happens in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, and of course the extensions from there. And well, we're of course grateful to all of you that continue to watch, and we keep talking about club rugby. Of course, 2023 is just around the corner, but we'll be talking about that a little bit later. Dylan Freiling is in the studio with us, Nadine Stockdale, as well as Bradley Dirkse. Bradley's, of course, from Rangers. All of them current champions. Of course, Dylan, you guys won Super League A. Nadine, you guys won the Women's League. Bradley, Paarl Rangers, you guys won the Paarl region, but you also won the Knockout Cup. Slightly different format now to what it was a few years back, Dylan, in terms of now you guys go into this top six. The game has changed a bit. I mean, it seems that I'd like to, hear what you guys have to think about this, because it's now you play through your first round to win the league, or not to league, but to get to the top. But all the clubs are aiming for the top six. I'm not so worried about number one.
So pretty much you want to try finish your top two. So 1 and 2, which they kind of miss a quarterfinal.
Yeah.
So you finish your top 2, that's what you're kind of aiming for. I mean, back in the day, if you lost a game, it was very difficult. You had to rely on other teams to lose. And yeah, so you want to try finish top 1 or 2. Then your three 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, and you go from there into your semi and your final, hopefully.
Now, you've been in this game for quite a while. Jonathan Avalt, your head coach at False Bay over the last few years, has been in studio with us, obviously, on a regular basis. And Jono, if you are watching right now, again, always super grateful that you come into the studio and has taken the time to do it. And I mean, that's really fantastic. But when you talk about a season like that, in terms of you almost have two parts to it. You want to secure the first step is get into the top 6, and then then comes your quarterfinals and semis and so on. How much player management do you guys have to do?
Well, sure. First, a massive credit to Vidi and the coaching staff. I mean, I think Vidi's got it spot on. To manage all the players, like you said, throughout the whole year. It's a very long season to start in. Well, first we started the preseason in 2019 because of COVID and everything. But to continue through and to keep the guys positive and focused and motivated to go on to 22, which was our first actual proper league and tournament since COVID, which it managed very well. There was a lot of depth in the side, and everyone got their chances to play, and it was actually really, really nice. If your reserves came on or starters came on or whatever the story was, it was very nice for the guys to see that not much changed.
You guys were also one of the clubs that you didn't take your foot off the gas at all. Not only from I mean, I think people should also know this, not only from a training point of view, but, and we'll talk about some of the outreach projects, but for 2 years you stayed in contact. I mean, it was remarkable. It was unbelievable that for you guys it wasn't all about rugby. Yeah. And through all the pressure, your False-based structures made sure that they kept the doors open. They made sure that they kept contact. I mean, you guys getting, for example, being on the live streams and so on with us. When we're talking about player management, we're not only talking about player management on the field. It's the whole gears.
No, definitely. I mean, you've obviously got all your different kind of characters in the team as well. And you've got to keep everyone happy, which I think Vidi did very, very well. Know who to chirp, know not to chirp. And we created all our little running clubs and fitness clubs and everything to kind of keep everything going, which was nice. A braai here and there, going to a person's house. It was pretty special.
Yeah, so, and one of the things that you did was, or that you've always done, is made sure that you had a long pre-season, or you made sure that your players went through some strength and conditioning early in advance, ready for the next year. Clearly it's paid dividends.
No, definitely. I mean, I don't know about some of the other players, but it sometimes becomes False Bay Running Club. A lot of emphasis goes on conditioning. Those last 20 minutes in a game where you're really, really blowing, it comes through.
Yeah.
And kind of shows for the whole season.
Yeah. And Nadine, if we look at the False Bay scenario, the Super League game, I mean, William Bradley's got a completely different scenario again, but it's player management as well. From a women's perspective, in terms of your league structures, it's slightly different. The Super League guys are playing through the first round and then getting into the quarters and the semis and so on. The women's player management, is it similar, or because it's obviously less games and it's not such a long season? How do you manage that?
We basically have 10 teams in the league and we play against each one, and then at the end of the day it's all based on points.
Yeah.
So there's no final, semi-final, anything like that. Just working towards winning every game with maximum points.
And do you have the same, I mean, you obviously have the same challenges as every other club. You've got to keep the players happy, you've got to get them down the field.
Absolutely, and injury-free.
Yeah.
So we look after our players that have injuries, try to relieve them, look after them, and just work with the squad that we have.
I mentioned to Dylan now, and we used to have one of their former captains, Graham Knoop, on the show with us, and he used to say, the False Bay has got too much gears. They've got to give it away. They've got too much gears. It's a big problem. In fact, but the gears, I think, is important. Do you guys do special things to keep the women players involved, excited about the game, connected to the club?
We also have a lot of different characters in the team. We call it Ho by the Blow. So it's a song we sing. And yeah, so due to the fact that we're a new club, we started off slow. The club, with the men, we have different things that we do throughout the year, charities and stuff. So hoping to join up next year as the women part, and also bringing our part to the club.
Bradley, I've got to throw the same question at you. Paarl Rangers plays a different format to the league structures. I mean, they play 15 teams in a league. You guys have got 14, but you don't only play, you play 2 rounds. The game management, a little bit different?
Yeah, it's a little different than the other leagues in Western Province, but I have to give credit to the coach, Leswin. He did a great job throughout the year, managing the players and bringing in players from the second team, trying to get new guys involved in the first team, which was quite great to see.
But one of the things that is different is that you're always going to have a home and away.
Yes.
We used to have a home and away in the league structures. That is now slightly different. Whereas the Paarl region, you've still got that. You know that if something goes wrong here today, well, it's okay, we're going to bounce back tomorrow.
What's nice about the league, the only treble we really have, it's like to Somonium, but all the other teams is in Paarl, so every week it's packed stadium in Paarl, and then the competition is quite tight. You don't really get soft games, even though it's a lower competition. Then it's a tough game every week, and the crowd, it plays a big part in.
I mean, you mentioned Simondium, but teams like Simondium and Riverstone, Young Gardens, stronger every year now, getting better and better.
Yes, Simondium, they were quite tough to play away. Always tough teams to play away, but the competition got tough, very tough this year. The teams have really conditioned themselves well over the 2 years, came back strongly, and the competition was tough till the end.
So one of the things, of course, with the Paarl region, just like the Helderberg region, is everybody's so close together that every game is a derby game.
Yes, every game is a derby game. The tempers is quite high in each and every game, but the whole season throughout, it was played in good spirit, and that's what I can give thanks to.
Yeah, and of course, you got to always make sure that Dal Yosefat has got lots of parking. More clubs at one field there than I think and most venues have got it. Does that make things interesting when everybody's arriving at the same field?
Yeah, normally on a Saturday we only play on 4 fields, but there's a 5th field as well. So there was 2 or 3 games where it got quite crowded in there when there was a 5th team playing on Dal Yosefat as well. So
it also means that you're able to see the other teams on the same day. You get a feeling for who you're going to play tomorrow. You know what they're doing.
Yes. Like the week before the knockout tournament started, one of our rival teams played just next to us, so we could get quite a good look at what they're bringing up.
You don't need video technology. Dylan, you're playing on one field, no need for video analysis.
No, if you're sitting on the bench on the sideline, you like to pop your head around here and there, you hear a cheer. So, I mean, it's quite a nice thing.
Okay, so we got some interesting conversation, pretty exciting. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on speaking to Dylan, Nadine and Bradley about the 2022 season. Also, we'll start talking about what 2023 is going to look like. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Don't forget, we're still going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. That's coming up a little bit later in the show. Of course, you've got to go to our Facebook page and enter the Spot the Ball competition. I'm going to give my guests who are in studio with me, Dylan, Nadine and Bradley, an opportunity to see if they can spot the ball. But that comes up a little bit later. We're going to look at some of the highlight videos from 2023. Dylan, let's start with you. Obviously, it's a big deal. You guys won the league. In fact, we were talking about this last week. That game, Durban, False Bay, it's kind of starting to be spoken about now. Even though now it was like, 2 months ago now. But it's now being spoken about in the sense of that game, that big game. Big day for you guys.
No, I mean, every game we play against Durban, I mean, they could say it's False Bay of the North or Durban of the South. It's like playing Western Province Blue Bulls. It's a massive kind of North-South derby in the Western Cape. and it's a you know what's coming. It's going to be a very physical, good rugby game, and it's kind of always a game that you don't really need to get up for. It does itself.
Did you expect it to go that close? I mean, we don't often see finals with extra time.
Yes, definitely, because I mean it's been like that every time in the league. Our league game as well also was very, very close in the last 5 minutes. So
of course, you guys did play Durban.
Yeah,
twice.
we played them twice. Once in the league, which was very, very tight, and then in the final as well.
So one of the big things about that day, which was of course the Craven. This is what I'm saying. It was an iconic day. It was different because the finals were played at Stellenbosch University, at the Craven Stadium. And the other unique thing about it is that the Stormers literally played a curtain raiser for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about the day was a big day.
No, it was really special. I mean, the Stormers played there. The Stormers played, and pretty much the curtain raiser to St. George's Helderberg.
Yeah.
And then we played after that. So it was very a bit different to playing at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think the game was at 7 or a bit later.
Yeah.
So it was a bit different, but as both teams need to adjust and go from there.
But that's also quite nice when you get to play on the park, and you, like you say, St. George's Helderberg. It's not only about you on the day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to rub shoulders with everybody else on the day who are there for the same sort of experience.
No, also, sitting in the stands before the game with the St. George's and Helderberg crowd, and the crowd before that was, I think the SRC played before the Stormers game, and
they came across, yeah.
and all the supporters were there. It was special. I mean, one side of the stands was shouting for one team, and the other side was shouting for the other team, regardless who you were. Yeah. So it was pretty special.
Nadine, on your side, for the women's rugby side, you guys had a lot of special moments this year. And we think about one of the games that we obviously filmed was the match, the 10s match that you guys played at Hamilton's, where shortly after that everybody was able to walk across and watch the Stormers play at the Cape Town Stadium. But that was also a highlight game. I mean, it really felt like a big special occasion.
Yes, most definitely. There's quite a few teams that's really strong in the league. Blue Jets, Busy Bees, False Bay.
Yeah.
False Bay, one of our main rivals, always looking forward playing against them. So hopefully this year we can rearrange the scoreboards a bit.
And it was nice to have the extra fans there because the next game was in fact Western Province.
Yes, indeed, you're against Border. So
yeah.
Also nice to support the local girls, Western Province. So.
You talk about supporting the local girls. That was one of the highlights for us this year. And, well, we've been doing it for a few years now that I think about it. It was the extra exposure for women's rugby, speaking to the players, who then started getting comfortable with the camera. In the beginning, we were a little bit shy. But now, our women's rugby players are known to everybody that watches the show.
When I started out with rugby like 100 years ago, there were no TV coverage basically for women. We didn't have live shows, so definitely a step forward. Something new for me, enjoying it thoroughly. Bringing women's rugby out there, showing the world. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Well, we've got a video here, which is of course the highlights from that 10s at Hamilton's. Yeah, folks, take a look and we'll talk about it. Bracken fell up against False Bay, big game. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. All right, so while we sort out some of our technical matters, Nadine, let's go straight to you. The 10s tournament format, and in a case like that, Brackenfell, False Bay. I mean, the two things that I noticed there is the opportunity to get some good experience running rugby, but also an opportunity for the coaches to gauge what the teams are looking like and so on.
Yes, most definitely. The only thing is with a tournament like that, we have all the games basically in one day.
Yeah.
So injury-wise, you have to look after the players, but it's good for the coaches to have a look at what the season will hold in for them, because this actually was in the beginning of the season. So.
And how good is this for women's rugby when you've got more than two women's teams? I mean, that entire day was a festival of women's rugby. You
Yes.
had 10 teams, I think, playing 10s rugby. And then, of course, you had Western Province playing against, I think it was Border. Was it Border, right? Against
Yes.
Boland, of course, Boland. But a real showcase for women's rugby and a great opportunity for women's clubs that have just started off playing.
Yes.
This year, we saw quite a few sort of a migration from women's rugby in where for a while we weren't sure if the team was going to be there, and now stable, solid teams.
It's nice seeing new teams coming up. From when I was playing previous years, much more teams. The quality of rugby has improved throughout. Enjoying seeing women's rugby grow. Tournaments like these are very great for all players to see what's out there. Even if you look at the other game, picking up experience, even not playing, but looking at it and seeing what's out there, growing as a player.
Right, folks, well, of course, as you know, every week we go down to MChem 24-hour pharmacy. And as you know, MChem 24-hour pharmacy is always open. And they certainly have been during the festive season, and they will continue to stay open over the festive season, because that's what they do. MChem 24-hour pharmacy is always open. And for those of you that have never, well, if you haven't been down to MChem yet, well, you need to get down to MChem 24-hour pharmacy, because they've got pretty much everything that you need. And if they don't have it, they'll make sure that they get it for you. They've got free parking outside. There's a fantastic coffee shop. So even if you're not planning on going there for shopping, certainly you'll be able to go there and have a nice meal or have a nice cup of coffee, maybe have a meeting there. But otherwise, there's of course the dispensary downstairs, there is the orthopedic and surgical zone downstairs, there is the health zone downstairs. There are so many zones inside MChem, including upstairs, the supplement zone, there's a travel clinic, there is well, they've got pretty much everything that you need. And as I said, great prices. And if they don't have it, they'll make sure that they get it for you. That's MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Just look out for this big building with a big sign on it, as you see behind me here. Folks, we'll see you in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV time. We're still coming up. We're going to be giving you an opportunity to win a case of Score energy drinks. All right, you can, of course, see all the Score rugby jerseys behind me here. That was another interesting development during the year. Sevens rugby, another big occasion for Western Province. Dylan, I don't know if you didn't play in the sevens.
A little bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
How's that for you guys, going from the league, playing in the finals, and then at sevens rugby?
There was a lot of guys a lot of youngsters that are up and coming and very, very talented players that will probably be first team players the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So Peter Bernardi does very well to bring those players up, and they're very exciting, and whenever one of them get the ball in hand, something's going to happen. So it's a good thing to bring the younger talent up and have them play. I mean, some of the older guys in the team definitely need a rest here and there, so they decided to take their rest.
Bradley, het jy gespeeld in die sevens?
No. Ons het ongelukkig nie gespeel nie, want daar was 'n paar tegniese issues wat ons nie kon uitsorteer nie.
Maar julle game was ook gedelay vir 'n week, né?
Ja, ons het 'n kragonderbreking gehad op die aand van die final. Kon ons nog nie speel nie, want die ligte kon nie aangekom het nie.
Hoe moeilik is daai vir julle as julle nou voorberei vir 'n game? Dis 'n groot game. It's coming up this Saturday. and everything is prepared. The transport is prepared, the buses, the food. Moms and dads are ready for action, and then they tell you, sorry, there's going to be power problems because load shedding is hitting.
Ja, het was moeilijk, want ons was klaar aangetrek, opgewarm. Mannen was gereed om uit te gaan. Toe sê hulle, ons wag vir die krag om aan te kom en toe het gee so tot so 9 uur toe, maar toe het die krag nie aangekom nie en toe sê hulle ons moet maar besluit op 'n nuwe datum.
So were you relieved or were you...
Nee, regtig nie, want ons het uitgesien.
Okay, let's braai.
Nee, regtig nie, want ons het uitgesien na die game, jy was so mentally prepared
Ja.
om op te daag vir die game. En dan om weer die manne te kry om die week, 2 weke daarna, daai selfe mindset na die
Ja.
game te bring is nog 'n challenge wat bietjie moeilik was.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the game. This was, of course, Lower Paarl up against Paarl Rangers at Fora Stadium. Lots of fans, as always. Big derby. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Folks, if you want to see a derby match, wow, do yourself a favor, get down. And Dylan was just saying that the Forest Stadium is a spectacular venue to play. In fact, some big school derbies there. But Bradley, this is, I mean, Paarl Rangers and Lower Paarl, you guys have been sort of lucky enough to stay the top two for quite a while now. This is probably Paarl region's ultimate derby.
Yes, and especially the last year we played, in 2019, we fell short on a couple of times, and we drew the one game we played in the league. So that was stuck in the back of the mind throughout the year, and we managed to go throughout the year beating them 3 times this year, which was quite nice to have that chip going into next year.
Do you guys talk to each other during the week? Do you guys see each other?
Because Paul is such a small community, there's always back and forward when you see each other in town, somewhere in town. There's always a chirp here and there, and it's a nice chirp, nice chat to
Yeah.
have going into game week.
So how does it feel then moving to a different venue?
That was quite nice. It's nice for the younger players as well, because going to Forest Stadium, the atmosphere is different. The way the field plays is different, and it's the stadium that brings a different atmosphere to the, because the Daljershof Stadium, we don't really have a stadium. It's just people next to the field, so it brings a different vibe to the
You said
to
the
the
same
game.
thing, Dylan. You also said when you looked at the field, you said, I mean, you obviously have experience on that field. I think Western Province played this there a couple of times. I don't know. Where is your experience on the field? How do you like the field?
It's a field is you like to have a nice soft underfoot field.
Yeah.
So having a look at the field, it's nice and wide. The lines aren't too close to where the stadium actually is.
Yes.
And from then it's a nice place to play. I don't know how to explain it as much. But just the type of field is well looked after because all the big schoolboy derbies. So it's actually very, very well looked after.
Yeah. Folks, we've got the score competition coming up where we give our guests in the studio an opportunity to win a case of Score energy drinks, and all you need to do is visit our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Go and see if you can spot the ball, and every week we give one lucky winner an opportunity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are in studio with me, I'm going to just give you a little warning. I'm going to give you an opportunity to see the spot the ball competition. But if you think that you found the ball, the chances are good you're wrong. All right, this is a pretty tough competition. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to give it a go. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and a C3. Right. Bradley, do you want to give it a go? Have you got any idea where the ball is?
I'll go with A2. I think it was a funny bounce of the ball.
Yeah, it was a funny bounce of the ball. All right.
Going around the top.
Nadine?
I would go for a C1.
You're going to go with C1. All right. So Bradley, you said?
A2.
A2. Nadine, you're going with C1. And Dylan, you want to go
I'm going to go with B1. Just having a look at the guy's facial expressions, actually where he's trying to look.
All right, folks. Well, those are your options. I'm going to go with A2. There's very little chance of any of us getting this right. There probably is no ball, but let's take a look. So the ball there, of course, A1, A2, B1, B2, B3, C. There you go. B1 is, of course, where the ball is. Congratulations, Dylan.
I was seeing this on Facebook quite a bit, so trying to play is quite nice.
It becomes pretty impossible.
Yeah.
No, just when we think we've got it, then it's somewhere out of the park. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking about what's happening in club rugby. It's fantastic to have in studio with us Dylan Freiling, Vice Captain for Falsbay. They're, of course, the Super League A winners. Nadine Stockdale. Nadine. Of course, Brackenfell and winners of the Women's League this year. Were you at the award ceremony?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, special
Yes.
night?
Very cool. Very nice. Awesome.
It is always special.
Yes, it is.
And Bradley Dirksen, of course, vice captain, and this was the one of the trophies that Lower Paul won. At least Paul Rangers won on the day. Ooh, that was a dangerous thing to say. that was more dangerous than me getting Nadine's surname wrong. Much more dangerous. But yeah, Paul Rangers, of course, winning the knockout phase and then winning the league. So we're talking about some of the matches during 2023. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. This is the final segment of our final show for the year. 52 shows of Cape Rugby TV during this year where we've spoken about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And, of course, we talk about the extensions from Club Rugby, whether it be into the Currie Cup sides or the junior sides or the women's provincial sides, all the way to the Stormers, etc. These are all the extensions of Western Province Rugby, and it's been a fantastic year to, as again, after 12 years, celebrate the best of club rugby. Dylan, you've been in the club rugby space for a long time. It's much more than playing and just playing the game. It's about the family. I mean, let me not put words in your mouth. You tell me.
No, I mean definitely there's a lot of sacrifice that gets put into playing in SLA, SLB, SLC, and all the rugby leagues. Is a massive sacrifice, especially with families. I mean, wives, girlfriends. You got to put a lot of time and effort in. It doesn't just happen.
Friends for life?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, your teammates kind of become a family too.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So it's quite nice if a lot of your friends are your teammates. So I mean, you're hanging around quite a bit.
Nadine,
really nice.
Same question for you guys. Is with your women teammates, friends, managers, it's a bond you make for life.
I've been playing rugby for many years, and then I got married and had 2 kids, left rugby completely for 10 years. When I started up the club with Uncle Vic, I decided just to go and train with him. And it's like that bond has never broken after 10, 12 years. Yeah. You just catch up and carry on. It's family for life at the end of the day.
This was one of the things that we saw during the COVID time as well. Bradley, that is really what it comes down to, is it creates that extra structure, but not just for rugby, it creates a picture. Friends look after each other. Clubs are able to look after players.
Yes, it definitely does, and the rugby itself creates a family, and then that's the people that you can go to for support on and off the field, which is quite nice. The family that it builds, it's quite nice.
Folks, the big game, of course, this year was the match between False Bay and Durban. In fact, there were lots of big games with more than 80 odd fixtures every weekend across Western Province, with the first teams, the second teams, and the under-20s, and lots of different divisions: Super League A, Super League B, C, Northern, Southern, City regions, including the Metro regions. Clubs from all over playing through the season and enjoying rugby and talking about that common bond of Western Province rugby. But it all came down to that one game where it was Durban up against False Bay. They ended up playing at the Craven Stadium with the Stormers as a curtain raiser to this game. It was an incredible game, and everybody was watching. Show you some of the highlights, and then we of course asked Dylan and Nadine and Bradley to tell us some of their thoughts. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Right. Before I go to Dylan, you were in the game. You guys walked away with this fun time. Bradley, your thoughts on the game? False Bay against Durban in the final to win Super League A.
I think just the Super League A final in itself, it's big, and seeing the game, the highlights now, massive clash. Reinings just said the captain got injured quite early in the game, and that was a massive task to pull off with your captain off injured for the entire final.
Yeah. Nadine, you've been in these situations before. You've played at the highest level, including, of course, in the World Cup in 2006. Big moments like this, when you look at that game, what goes through your mind?
Oh, it's always difficult to play without your captain, and that's where your vice captain and the senior players step up. So, massive game.
Yeah. Dylan, let's talk about that for a second as we wrap up the show. Looking at the game, you didn't know that your captain Thabo was injured. Most people didn't know until after the game. Only then did we find out your captain, who led you right through the season, took a knock in the first couple of minutes. Did you guys know on the field?
Thabo and I have had a very good relationship for quite a while, so knew about it, but it was a thing where adrenaline will kick in, and everything will be fine, and it was just a very unfortunate thing that it happened at the time, and it was in this perfect spot, so it was just a very unlucky. But I mean, he's done a bloody good job this entire season and for the couple of years. To the amount of things away from the cameras that Thabo does. We do a thing with Miracle Kids that Thabo drives very, very well. So he's been a captain on and off the field, and he's a very, very special human being. Actually.
Yeah, I know you guys have got a fantastic leadership structure there, playing structure, as you said earlier on the Gees. Bradley, what's coming in for you guys in 2023?
Hopefully more of the same. Looking forward to the season. Might be having.
I don't know if the Blues are going to agree with that.
Might be having a few more players joining the club. So looking forward to the league and reminding Blues of the 3 wins we got this year.
That's not really fair. Nadine, I would assume for you guys it's one thing: more players, more matches.
Yes, we started off saying we're playing basic rugby, but not boring rugby.
Yeah.
So next year, working on player recruitment, I would think, and stepping it up technically and making it more fun to play the game. So looking forward to 2023.
So if there's moms and dads that are watching now, and they've got girls that want to start playing rugby, or women that are watching now who want to start playing rugby, is it just a question of find a club near you?
Yes, you can check out social media, Facebook, all clubs will be on social media, so you can just, the training times will be on the training days, so you can just rock up to your closest club and join the fun.
That's it, yeah. And Dylan, it's been an extraordinary year for you guys. 2023, is it too early to talk?
2023, the competition just gets harder and harder. So we expect it to be a much bigger year than this year, competition-wise. There's no easy games anymore. So we're just going to have to see and take it one game at a time.
Yeah. Well, listen, we say thanks to you for taking the time to join us in the studio. It's been great chatting. Loved it, and we can't wait for next year.
Definitely.
Nadine, also, from our side, great that you're in the studio. Please give our best to Danelle and the team and all of the women who are playing rugby out there at the moment. And we look forward to getting you guys back in studio.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
And Bradley, to you as well. Happy New Year. Dankie dat jy ingekom het, meneer. And we're also looking forward to seeing what Rangers is going to do next year, as well as all of the teams in the PAR region.
Dankie Type en dankie vir die geleentheid.
Right, folks, there you go. That's our final show of the year then. 2022 is now behind us. If you are watching right now, remember, find yourself a club around you and start playing rugby. Any age, women rugby, junior rugby, get involved. But that really is it from us this year. And, of course, to all of our fans, our viewers, the moms and dads, the players, the administrators, the coaches, everybody out there that has made club rugby so special and has contributed to yet another successful year of Cape Rugby TV. We say thank you. And if you are out there on the roads during the festive season, remember, be safe. Celebrate in as safe as possible manner. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.